This video might be my only warning. Okay, so iPad Air or Mac Studio, Mac Mini, MacBook Pro, M1, M1 Pro, M1 Ultra, I think it's all going to be irrelevant very, very soon. You see, as a tech nerd, I like to be on the bleeding edge of technology, and never before has it been so clearly laid out what the future of technology is. All the stuff that Apple just announced at their newest event, whether you're trying to get the Mac Studio or the iMac, if you want to be on the very bleeding edge, you need to heed my warning right now because it'll be here before you know it. Sounds like a Vsauce video. Welcome to the Granny Geek Show, where I talk all things iPad Pro, Apple tech philosophy type of stuff, and even some pro audio sprinkled in there. So if that sounds like your hot, refreshing cup of tea, then hit the subscribe button and click the bell so you don't miss. Let me explain. You see, I think we're on the precipice of everything in technology changing. We're reaching the limits of what humans can even perceive as quality. I mean, we were having this debate back when 1080p transferred to 4K, and 4K had such a slow adoption rate around the world because some people really just couldn't tell the difference. So how much more is that going to be with the transition from 4K to 8K, right? And we have now Mac Minis with M1s in it, and even iPad Airs that are around the $500 mark that are fully capable of editing multiple 4K streams at one time. I know this myself as I use M1 Mac Mini and I use the M1 iPad Pro. I had a whole different video on iPad Air versus iPad Pro now that they both have the M1. Check that out. Links down in the description below. So I think the general trend has been, well, a downward one. You have people who used to use the iMac and maybe even the iMac Pro now using M1 Mac Minis and even the M1 MacBook Air. And people who used to use the Mac Pro, the very creme de la creme that Apple had to offer, they're now using the Mac Studio. Apple has created a new option at only $2,000 that will suit the needs of a lot of different creatives, even at the professional level. Creators on the bottom end are coming up, and creators at the tippy top end are coming down, and they're going to meet in the middle. You see, I think that the ultimate device and the ultimate form factor is a single slab of glass, possibly foldable, as we're now getting rumors of the new foldable MacBook Pro, which is really just a foldable iPad, because this MacBook Pro is supposed to be all screen, 20-inch screen, and run Mac OS. That's basically an iPad that folds, but hey, call it what you want. That's really crispy. You know, I talk a lot on this channel about the future of the iPad, but what I didn't always realize is that I was talking about the future of the device in general. And so that's a realization that I had made just months ago. My honest question is, why do I seem to be the only one talking about this? Apple clearly knows that the iPad is the one device that fulfills everything that all of their other devices do. Think about it, and I've said this many times, the iPad can be a tablet when you want it to be. It can be put in a keyboard case and be a laptop when you want it to be. It can be docked, right, with USB-C Thunderbolt now into a desktop, plug up an external display, hard drives, you name it. And then it also runs the same software, essentially, and apps and services that your iPhone runs. And guess what? It has cellular capability, something that the iPod and Mac still don't have. It's the only other device that has cellular technology in addition to the iPhone. Now see, of course, this opportunity is up for grabs for any company that wants to do it, but seeing what Apple has been able to do with performance, putting an M1 chip that beats so many other devices in laptops and even some desktops, the fact that they could put that in a tablet is just showing the amount of headroom they're going to have for performance when it comes to these devices. And so Apple is really poised to take over this market and make an iPad that will make people using even the Mac Studio think twice about, well, do I want to take that power on the go? They certainly did that for a lot of people with M1 iMac or M1 Mac Mini. Now you can have that same power in a tablet with Thunderbolt ports. Well, not ports plural, but you know, they're starting. It's a start. So if you want to be on the bleeding edge of technology, I think it'll only be a few more years before it's abundantly clear that the tablet form factor is going to be the form factor for tech of the future. Then start using iPad Pro. Test it out. At least try it out, right? You've got so many people using iPad only, and I think as soon as people started doing that, it should have put everybody on alert that, okay, maybe this is something I should look into or try, because the last thing you want to be is late to the party when everybody has already got their optimized workflows and they're all using their favorite gear and stuff like that, and they've mastered iPad OS, and you're now just taking it seriously. You're going to be behind the bus. I don't even know if that's an expression, but I think you understand what it means. Anyway, I changed up the scenery way too much in this video, but I just got bored of sitting at a desk and staring at a camera. So, we could get back to normal, we may not. You never know with this channel. So if that sounds like your hot, fresh cup of tea, hit the subscribe button. Click the bell so you don't miss. As we cover all things iPad Pro, Apple tech philosophy, and Pro audio. I'm Chris Grant Jr. It's the Granite Geek Show.